He has control and supervision over the state police and has connections with the FBI and has just reigned terror in Pennsylvania because he has full responsibility to protect the civilians in Pennsylvania. His failure to protect and his involvement to corrupt and obstruct justice is an absolute atrocity. And the public needs to speak up. Like, we need to stop living in fear and letting them control the agenda when this is not normal.
Welcome back, warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. All right, warriors, I have an update on the whistleblower who allegedly implicated the current governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, in the attempted assassination on Donald Trump last year in July in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now, I'm going to say this is alleged. I've been looking into this. I got to dig a little bit more, but so far this looks to be a real person. Before we get into it, don't forget, smash like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit all notifications so that you are always alerted of when I post a new video. Now let's get into it. Now this video that I'm about to show here is from 3 months ago. Okay, 3 months ago.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hadassah Feinberg. I've posted a couple videos to YouTube. First off, I just wanted to thank everyone for the support that we're receiving and other victims are receiving. But I did want to hop on here and clarify a couple things that people have left in comments and, just a lot of misinformation going around. So I did file a private criminal complaint to the Butler County, Pennsylvania District Attorney's Office, implicating Governor Josh Shapiro for the attempted assassination against former President Donald J. Trump on July 13th of 2024, and for the murder of Corey Comparator. Yes, Governor Josh Shapiro is fully liable. He has control and supervision over the state police and has connections with the FBI and has just reigned terror in Pennsylvania. A little about me. I was a resident of Pennsylvania for 25 years. My family's been there for years. I still have family there. And I was working as a licensed foster and adoptive parent. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I was teaching in the schools. I'm a mother. I have 4 young children that I'm raising. And, I came out after I had saved 4 children that were left soiled in feces and unclothed. And I basically spoke up against the county for them failing that family. And after that point, they terrorized my family. They came after my family. We had to flee for safety. Just a horror show, total nightmare. And as I continued to speak up and, voice the oppression that we were, facing, I started to connect with multiple victims. And over the months, I began to realize, wait, this is a racket. This is an enterprise, a Commonwealth enterprise. It's very, very vast. And of course, we all know that the FBI is the one that's supposed to investigate public corruption, which unfortunately in the state of Pennsylvania, they're not doing. They're trying to silence victims. Governor Josh Shapiro has full control over the media there, Penn Live, ABC. I have text messages with the reporter for months and months and months. They have known about the crimes. And, I think the media is just as much liable for the safety and for the harm caused to the victims as Governor Josh Shapiro, because if they have knowledge of the crimes, they are failing the public. They are failing the public by, aiding him in promoting his political agenda.
Okay, I gotta say that again, this looks legitimate to me. I'm still saying allegedly. We have to look into it a little bit further, but I got to say, this looks real to me. I'm just being careful to protect myself against anything, okay? Because this is not, according to my knowledge, as of this moment right now, this is not in mainstream news, even in conservative news network outlets. I haven't seen it on anything. This woman is saying that he is not only implicated in the attempted assassination of then former President Donald J. Trump, but also against other civilians, hundreds of crimes against innocent civilians that Joshua Shapiro, current governor of Pennsylvania, is doing this. And she was harassed and was involved in a horrific incident, her and her family. So, and also she made, what really stood out to me also was that the media is complicit as well. Gee, that sounds very familiar. Controlling the media. And I don't have to tell you that Joshua Shapiro is a Democrat. They are the party of censorship, controlling the media narrative. So if they're still controlling the media, well, that explains why we haven't heard a lot of things. So she's saying he controls the statewide local media to prevent information of his crimes coming to light. But I got to tell you, warriors, whatever is done in secret, which you already know, and I'll say it again on this channel, whatever is done in secret is exposed. It comes to the light. I don't care how much they try to hide it. And I just want to say this while this thought just came to my mind. I talk a lot against Democrats. I call them demon rats, but I also got to speak out against Republicans for being weak. Until now, in this current administration, the ones that are yet to be confirmed, and the current president, Donald J. Trump, his second term, these are not weak acting people. Tom Homan, not weak. Hegseth, Kristi Noem, none of them are weak. They are about business. Pam Bondi, they are bold, they are brave, they stand on business, and I am so here for it. I mean, Pam Bondi is coming after these people. And it's not made up stuff. It's stuff that they're actually doing. Okay, not like what happened to Trump. These are things that these people actually did.
And not providing protection to the public that so greatly needs that exposure. So anyways, I'm just coming on here because I want the public to know what's going on. Politicians have a lot of pull with the media, and normal everyday civilians don't have that. And so it's really important to get on social media and let the people know what's going on. A couple of the victims that I've been working with are Leah Shoops, Matt Konopesky, Elena Belogolowski, Ellen Greenberg's death. I have investigated that. Daniel Harris, Yvonne Worski Werman. There's so many people, and it's horrible. They threaten us. They come after our families. They take our children. The crimes that have been committed to try to suppress, the exposure of their crimes is just absolute, I don't want to call it genocide, but it's a humanitarian crisis in Pennsylvania, and people are living in fear. I think a lot of the people that, just have no idea, they're uninformed. I'm going to call them uninformed. I'm not going to say uneducated, because I think they're just uninformed. But this is really important. And I want the public to know that I'm just a mother that went through persecution by Governor Josh Shapiro and the officials underneath him. And, I'm not a political party. I'm not here to promote, a political position. I'm not here to promote one way or the other. I truthfully don't know much about Kamala Harris. I mean, I know she was vice president, but I didn't vote for her, and I don't really know anything about her. I'm not on here, to say one way or the other. But what I do know for sure is that Governor Josh Shapiro is an absolute criminal. I will come out and say that because he has full responsibility to protect the civilians in Pennsylvania. His failure to protect and his involvement to corrupt and obstruct justice is an absolute atrocity. And the public needs to speak up. Like, we need to stop living in fear and letting them control the agenda when this is not normal. Like, we don't live in some sort of, third world, terroristic country. This is America.
You're right. This is America. This isn't a third world country, but the demon rats really wanted to turn it into that. They absolutely did. And we have to pray for this young woman, this young mother, because she could be in danger for speaking out like this anytime. I mean, she's got her face, her name, and her face, all right, just right here, right here. Okay, and you can find the actual complaint, the lawsuit. Actually, I'm going to show you that as well. So please stick around and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit all notifications. This is crazy. People are being harassed, they're being targeted. This is dangerous business here. And politicians, as we already know, a lot of them are corrupt. And I hate to say it, but it look like the corrupt ones keep getting positions of power. We need to pray that people get discernment, get saved, get some discernment, know who is lying to you and who is not lying, who is bad and who is good. You know what I mean? Nobody is really ever good according to the Bible, but someone who means well, who's trying to do the right thing versus someone who is just flat out lying to the American people. Now, I feel bad for her. And this, again, was just a few months ago. It has very few views, not even 1,000 views.
Supposed to be living for free, not for free, but like, we're supposed to be living free and, not persecuted for exposing crimes. That's absolute, like, it's insane, totally crazy. So I'm just an average human being. No, I am not imagining any of this. There's hundreds of victims. I have hundreds of text messages from people that have been victims to these crimes. And the public needs to speak out, and that's what I'm doing. I've been speaking out since October, even though they harassed my family and forced us out. We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop until there's justice. And everybody needs to know what's going on, because we live in a quote unquote democracy where this is not supposed to happen. And I think it's my duty to let everybody know what's going on in Pennsylvania and who Governor Josh Shapiro truly is. Again, he controls the media. So when you listen to the media, you need to take it with a grain of salt. If you look at the amount of lawsuits alleging crimes against Governor Josh Shapiro, you'll be just as horrified as I am. So please, do your homework, do your research. Remember that the media is controlled, and average human beings like you and me is the people that you should really be listening to.
Take that, what she said. Average human beings like you and me are the people that you should be listening to, not the media, because the media, as she said, is controlled. Now, again, she said her name is Hadassah Feinberg. I found another video. I want to also point out that this is coming from this YouTube channel called Speak Up. It has the QAnon symbol. This next one is from 6 months ago. The previous video was from 3 months ago, and here she's reading out the criminal affidavit, which I read in my live video. You should go see that. I'm just going to play a little bit of this, but I looked at her face. This is the same woman, okay? This is the same exact person saying her name, and this one got 38,000 views about, again, Joshua Shapiro, and she named another case, Ellen Greenberg. That name came up in like she unalived herself. We're going to take a look at that as well. But I'm going to play a little bit of this so you guys can take a listen.
To the American people, my name is Hadassah Feinberg, and I hereby affirm that I filed a private criminal complaint naming Joshua Shapiro, aka Governor Joshua Shapiro, in the state of Pennsylvania as a defendant for the attempted assassination against former President Donald J. Trump. I, Hadassah Feinberg, aka Affiant, hereby charge Governor Joshua Shapiro in his personal, individual, and official capacity with murder and attempted murder. Governor Joshua Shapiro conspired with multiple parties to act on the political scheme and carry out the attempted assassination of former President Donald J. Trump by and through an abuse of power, both directly and indirectly, in the state of Pennsylvania.
I'm going to link this in the description box below. You all should definitely see the entire video, but I already read through this in a live that I did yesterday, so you can go and check it out. I'll link that video at the end of this one, and you can also have the direct access to her video, Hadassah Feinberg's video. Now, she goes on to say, as I've already stated in another video, that Joshua Shapiro, current governor of Pennsylvania, worked with state and local officials in organizing this, what it was an atrocity, because Corey Comparatore lost his life. Someone died because of what they did or did not do, however you want to word it. And again, I'm going to say allegedly right now to protect myself, but she appears to be straight up and down real. This, and the media is not. Again, in that previous clip, she says you have to take the media with a grain of salt because they are literally not going to really tell the truth. I've already seen on left-leaning media that this is not real, that they're saying this is not real. But I said I was going to find the truth to report to you right now, because that is what I enjoy doing for those who watch me. And it is tragic in my mind that we were headed down this communist path, this controlling of information, this controlling of the media, this censorship, this persecution of innocent people, not guilty people. I understand if you persecute guilty people, but we're talking innocent people. And the Democrats have a tendency to protect criminals rather than the innocent. They persecute the innocent and protect the guilty. I mean, this party is absolutely on a wrong path, and I really don't think they're going to learn from their mistakes. I honestly don't think that they will, because that they know no other way. They get paid to do what the evil powers that be that work behind the scenes tell them to do. They get paid a lot of money not to do the right thing, and they like money more than they love people. Okay, they love some money. Okay, the love of money is the root to all sorts of evil, is what the Holy Bible, the good book, says. And this is true. Now, let's just look at a little bit of documentation, shall we? Hoping you can see this, but it literally says Hadassah Feinberg versus Ferdinand Clintron, original case. It has a number, case number, type civil, private 470 other statutes, nature of suit, racketeer influenced and corrupt organizations, case filed August 21st to 2024, and it says it was terminated December 9th, 2024. And I don't want to give like too much of personal information, but this is a private criminal complaint. It has defendant's name and address, which I had to blur that out. And it talks about defendant Joshua Shapiro and Christopher Paris, you know, Michelle Henry, Val, and some others, Larry Kreshner, Francis Bachardo. And it says the attached affidavit. And that is what she was reading. And it says right here, again, it's under Speak Up. I am a federal whistleblower who worked for the Pennsylvania State Police, Dauphin County, and was preliminarily accepted for employment with the FBI. Governor Shapiro tried to lock me up and take my kids, to silence and punish me for exposing the corruption in Pennsylvania, the murder of Ellen Greenberg, and the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump. His criminal plans were unsuccessful, and I am still alive to testify. Let's keep it this way. Mind-blowing, explosive, utter corrupt. Now, I want to show you another document. Take a look. Okay, it says Hadassah Feinberg, plaintiff, appellant, and it goes on with Ferdinand Clintron, Josh Shapiro, Francis Chardo, Colin Zwally, and so many other names. And defendants, appellees, appeal from the United States District Court for the District of Maryland and Baltimore. It goes on, and this was submitted December 5th, 2024. And decided on December 9th, 2024. That's what's out here. And it says Hadassah Feinberg filed a civil action and a motion for leave to proceed in forma pauperis. The district court denied the motion to proceed in this particular case and afforded Feinberg 21 days to pay the filing fee for the action. Before the 21-day period elapsed, the district court concluded that venue was not proper in the District of Maryland and transferred Feinberg's action to the United States District Court for the Middle District of Pennsylvania. Feinberg now seeks to appeal the venue transfer and informs pauperis denial orders. Okay, and it goes on with other information. Oh my goodness. Okay, a district, I'm just kind of skimming through this. I'll leave the link so you can look at this yourself. A district court order denying leave to proceed in forma pauperis in an appealable order. Roberts versus U.S. District. Okay, this is going on to say, this is a lot of, well, basically at the end, they denied her. They denied Feinberg. It says, accordingly, we deny Feinberg's motion to redact and dismiss the appeal for lack of jurisdiction. We dispense with oral argument because the facts and legal contentions are adequately presented in the materials before this court, and argument would not aid the decisional process. And it says dismissed. So this was dismissed, but you saw it had a court case number, like a case number and everything. The official documents, I showed you that. She's the real person. This is on a YouTube channel, Speak Up. One was from 6 months ago. One video was from 3 months ago. What do you all say? What do you all say? Now, one more thing. I need you to stick around. We got to see this whole thing. There is a clip of this Ellen Greenberg case. Take a watch.
We're spotlighting the mysterious death of Ellen Greenberg. On Monday, the city of Philadelphia settled 2 lawsuits with her parents following a 14-year fight for justice. The 27-year-old teacher was found dead by her fiance. She had more than 20 stab wounds on her body. She was found in her Philadelphia apartment. This is in the year 2011. The case was initially ruled a homicide until it was changed just a few months later and ruled a suicide. But now, wait, not so fast. More than a decade later, we've got a jaw-dropping admission by the medical examiner that the manner of death in the case of Ellen Greenberg should be amended to other than suicide. Her parents have long maintained that the ME was wrong, and they spoke to PennLive.com.
They said something about suicide, which I never considered for 1 second. Never, ever, ever would she do that.
It's like somebody punches you hard in the stomach and again, and the air goes out of your lungs and you can't breathe.
These poor parents. Now the city of Philadelphia has agreed to reopen the evidence with the current medical examiner. So let's talk more about this case. If you haven't heard about it, you need to hear about it. I want to bring in someone who's been following this case for a long, long time before it started grabbing national headlines just the last couple days. Retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindeffer. Jen, good morning to you. So would you walk us through the story, please? It's my understanding Ellen Greenberg was engaged and that it was her fiance who finds her and tells 911 that she stabbed herself.
Yes, it's a very interesting story, to say the least. Essentially, Ellen was found by her fiance. Her fiance had said he went to go work out, and when he returned, the door was locked. He says he forced the door open, but the evidence does not support that claim. He said he went in there and he called 911, claiming he couldn't really determine what had happened. I think he even mentioned that she might have slipped. They asked him to give CPR, and he said, well, I can't give CPR because there's a knife protruding from her chest. So the 911 call is one of the most absolutely unimaginable call that you'll ever hear that does not make sense with the crime scene.
No, it sure doesn't. It sure doesn't, Jen. And we've been talking about the case this morning. In Florida, we're watching Colin Griffith's case where he's saying that his mom fell on the knife and that it pierced through her neck. In this case, it's my understanding that fiance, Mr. Sam Goldberg, said the same thing to 911, that Ellen fell on the knife.
That sounds highly unlikely. And I've looked at another video about this Ellen Greenberg. Again, this was back in 2011, I believe they said. So this is old, a very old case, but it's gaining traction, more steam. And Hadassah Feinberg mentioned the Ellen Greenberg case, some shenanigans going on with that. And I heard that there were stab wounds in Ellen Greenberg's back. How can anybody do that to themselves that many times? You know what I mean? With any kind of force. I mean, that's just not how people do that when they try to get rid of themselves. It's just not what happens. And the fiance sounds, in my opinion, guilty.
And we know that she had 20 stab wounds and also bruises on her body that had been somewhat healed over too. Your thoughts on that, please, Jen?
Right. So to give some specifics, there were 20 stab wounds, approximately 10 in the back, including a gaping wound in her head. Now, these wounds were actually, according to the private investigator and another ME, were caused by two separate knives, Julie. So the thought that somebody would be in the throes of committing suicide and change knives out does not make a lot of sense. In addition, she was found actually stood up, sort of leaning up against a counter space. And it was obvious from the signs in her apartment that she was actually moved post-mortem, and there was a post-mortem wound that then other wounds in her chest area were made afterwards. So the whole case never really comported with any sort of suicide.
You're so right, Jen. This case stinks to high heaven.
Horrible. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm going to leave the links to these videos and articles so you can check them out yourself. I just wanted to give you an update on this Hadassah Feinberg and also bring up one of the cases that she mentioned in her criminal complaint. She mentioned the name of Ellen Greenberg. Ellen Greenberg, her fiance, looks guilty as sin, and that reporter said, that anchor person said, this whole thing stinks to high heaven. Okay, so we got all this stuff coming up with Governor Shapiro, Joshua Shapiro of the state of Pennsylvania, the current governor. Allegedly, I'm saying allegedly, don't say that I said any of this is true, allegedly, okay? But she looks to be a real person, this, Hadassah. I mean, she's on Speak Up. She said her name. That's the same person in both of those videos. You saw the paperwork there. I showed you that. So I will let you all decide. But don't forget to smash like, comment, share, subscribe, hit all notifications so that you are always alerted of when I post a new video. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America. And as I always say, march on, warriors.